So the role of response officer is a really diverse role. My officers will answer any calls that come through our system and are generally the first face that anyone sees during that point of an emergency. We deal with every sort of call that comes in, whether that be a sudden death, a domestic incident, a mental health related call. I could really sit here all day and roll off the different calls and incidents that we attend. They also carry their own workload, so whilst managing those calls that come in the system each day, they've got crimes they need to investigate and develop in the background. The most important part of my role as a response sergeant is making sure that every officer that comes through the door in the morning goes home safe at the end of the day, because ultimately they're the officers that go out, answer the calls and keep the public safe. Practically, my job does contain quite a bit of admin. I supervise and manage the officers' workloads, ensure that they are adhering to investigation plans, updating their victims in a timely manner, and that decisions are made on whether we charge people, if out-of-court disposals are appropriate, and decide on those outcomes for their investigations. I'm also quite keen on being a practical sergeant. I like to go out and about with the team and make sure that the service I think they're delivering when I read the investigation on a computer screen is actually what they're serving to the public. So we received an emergency response call slightly outside of our patch in relation to a male that had attended a house of multiple occupancy whereby he'd attended under the influence of some sort of controlled substance and had kicked the door through. So we attended. It wasn't quite the call that we expected. The male wasn't aggressive with us, however he did appear quite heavily under the influence of some sort of substance. We attended, got an idea of the circumstance of the call from the staff at the residence, and then he was subsequently arrested by one of my colleagues, and it was actually a first arrest. So following arrest, the male was searched. We searched all detainees that attend custody. This is to ensure both the safety of the person who's under arrest and the safety of myself and my colleagues. The things we're looking for are items that could be used to cause harm, escape, or could be evidence of an offence. We attended a call of a fight in our local bus stop. This is also a bit of a hotspot for antisocial behaviour in our area. We attended the call. I spoke to a witness who gave me the brief circumstances of what had taken place. I saw that my colleagues were already on scene from our neighbourhood department. Quite quickly I realised that the individual involved was quite well known to us. We tend to have dealings with this person day in, day out. So he was subsequently arrested for several offences and taken to custody. He was since charged and remanded off the back of that incident. I think this is quite a good example of us working with our neighbouring departments. In a joined up response here between us and our MPT, we were able to resolve quite quickly an issue that could have escalated into more disorder throughout the evening.
He's subsequently been arrested and is on his way to custody.
Yeah, no problem.
As part of our role as response officers, we attend sudden deaths on behalf of the coroner. Our primary role in that incident is to make sure that we provide support both there and then for the family and ongoing support over the coming weeks and months. We're also there to ensure that there are no suspicious circumstances and investigate all incidents where someone has sadly passed away. My role as a response sergeant is to oversee these incidents and in a way quality assure what the officers are doing. I trust that my team do a good job, but just to make sure that, especially when dealing with something that is very emotive, that nothing's missed and that everything that needs to be provided to the family is provided. I will also go and ensure that all investigative avenues are expedited and that we ruled out and can categorically say to the coroner that there are no suspicious circumstances, or if there is something that we can't explain, that that's reported back so that can be investigated properly. So while we were on our way to conduct some arrest inquiries as part of a domestic incident that we were investigating as a team, officers became aware of a vehicle parked up quite suspiciously on the side of the road. It's alerted one of my team's attention, so they've gone around to investigate. As we've walked up to the window, it's been quite evident that the male in the driver's seat is having a quite severe medical episode. So the primary role of a response officer is to make sure that we preserve life. So that is instantly what we all snapped into. My colleague John contacted the ambulance service via 999. That was the quickest way in that situation to get help there, whilst myself and my colleague Ben made sure that we supported the individual in the car and made sure that they had the appropriate first aid that they needed, just to tide us over until that ambulance came. The ambulance came, they quite quickly took him off to hospital. it was evident that he'd had a heart attack. He's all okay though, which is excellent news. We were quite fortunate the next day that his partner had attended the police station to thank us for our help. And it was just really excellent for us because we don't always find out the outcome of our incidents when they go off to hospital, especially when there's no crime associated or your typical what you would expect to be a police matter. So to have that feedback and to hear that he was actually doing really well was really lovely for us and positive. So I was glad to hear it. I think it's a little bit of a misconception that as a response officer you've got to then specialise in order to pick up further skills and training in the police. I've been really fortunate in my time that I've managed to become trained in a lot of different areas. For example, I'm public order level 2 trained. I'm a police search advisor, which is a role I'm really honoured to take, particularly because we get to write strategies and work with other partner agencies such as mountain rescue and search and rescue organisations in order to locate our high-risk missing people, and that's a job I really take pride in. And I'm also an operational football officer with Newport County, whereby we attend local matches and away games and ensure that disorder is prevented and that both those attending the games and those going about their daily business can have an enjoyable day without anything kicking off. So as part of my role as a football spotter, we recently had a fixture against Bristol Rovers. This allowed us the opportunity to work with our colleagues over in Avon and Somerset. A typical day in the life of an operational football officer generally starts off with a briefing. This makes sure that we've got a joined up response with whatever force that we're working alongside that day and ensure that we're all working under the same objectives and the outcomes are positive for everyone involved. From there we get out and about on whatever town that we're visiting. This was a local home game to us, so it's on our patch. We know our pubs and the places where our fans attend. Our jobs as football officers is to ensure that no disorder takes place, to ensure that those who want to go about their daily business and not get involved in the football are free to do so without it having a massive impact on their lives. And to gather any sort of relevant intelligence to prevent that disorder taking place later on in the season or whether that be later on in the day. So we do that, we do pub checks, we go and engage with the fans and just have a chit chat and a catch up. We're quite fortunate because we follow Newport County to all of their games. We get to know the individuals who attend games and go quite regularly. We then move into phase 2. Phase 2 is generally in the grounds for us, ensuring that if there are any issues involving crimes being committed in the stadiums, they're dealt with appropriately and removed from that environment. And then we move on to phase 3, which tends to be the aftermath, and ensuring that when those football fans then go out onto the town and begin to mix with, for example, the nighttime economy, there's no issues that take place and that everyone gets home safely at the end of the game. I feel really responsible for making sure that my team get home safely, like their mums, their dads, aunties, brothers, sisters. And I want to make sure that they get home safe at the end of the day and that everyone that they've dealt with is safe. And I take that quite personally, so I think it probably is a bit of a feeling of relief when we get to the end of a shift and things have gone okay. I absolutely love my job and I can see myself doing it forever, in all honesty. I can't imagine not being a police officer. It's all I've done since the age of 18 and hopefully that's what I'll continue to do. I think what keeps me coming back each day is the little bit of help that we can give people. I think when you join the police you think you're going to be able to change the world, but quite quickly you realise that you can't change the whole entire world, but the little things you do each day can make that individual's day that bit better and change their world. So being able to do that every morning, deal with different people in some of the most traumatic times of their life really is something special which I don't think you can recreate in any other role or job.
Home sweet home.